What up, guys, and welcome back to Thomas Reacts here on the 360 experience with myself, Thomas Maba. So this is a special edition for the people there in the Western Cape, because allegedly on Monday there will be a shutdown there in the Western Cape, and this shutdown will be led by the economic freedom fighters. Man, I can't wait to see how this one is going to fold out, man. I can't wait to see how it's going to play out. Because one thing I know is that those guys there in the Western Cape are not going to allow the EFF to come and distract their daily routines. Man, they are going to unleash the law enforcement services on these guys of the EFF. And these guys must not come to us on Tuesday to cry racism, because I want to show you their reasons why basically they want to shut down the Western Cape. Because you can see right here, it says one of the EFF's demands. You can see right here, it says one of the EFF's demands is the release of the impounded taxes. So on this one, it's quite funny, because right now SANTACO, it says that it is distancing them. They are distancing themselves from the economic freedom fighters. So SANTACO is saying, guys, we know that you want to shut down the Western Cape. We know that you are the economic freedom fighters. All of these things, you are just doing them to score cheap political points. But don't use our fight. Don't say that you are fighting for us. You are not fighting with us. Because even right now, SANTACO has released a statement distancing themselves from the economic freedom fighters, saying that, okay, guys, we know that you want to shut down the Western Cape, but we are not going there with you. We are not there with you. So we are distancing ourselves from the EFF and this whole shutdown thing of the Western Cape. So if you say you want to shut down Western Cape, don't say you want to do it for the impounded taxes. That is not your fight. It is our fight, and us, we are distancing ourselves from you. So you can do whatever that you want to do, but don't go around telling people that you were fighting for the impounded taxes in the Western Cape. You were not fighting for the impounded taxes in the Western Cape. You were fighting for your own reasons. So the EFF says other concerns include the high unemployment rate, racism, and crime. So these are the issues that the EFF feels like these issues are sufficient enough for us to go to the Western Cape to try to shut down the whole province. So guys, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Do you think that it is necessary for the economic freedom fighters to try to shut down the Western Cape over the impounded taxes, high unemployment rate, racism, and crime? Do you think that it is... What is it exactly? Because I've been trying to get my head around this whole thing, that what is it exactly that people are going to gain from this whole quote-unquote shutdown that is supposed to take place there in the Western Cape on Monday? What is it exactly that people are going to gain from this whole thing? Because you can say today, okay, we are marching against a high unemployment rate. That does it mean that tomorrow companies are now going to start calling the people and saying that, guys, we need people, come bring your CVs and bring your qualifications and everything? What is it exactly that people are going to gain from this whole thing? Because you can see right here, guys, on the sentence beneath that, it says it will be supported by the African National Congress, SANTACO, SAFTU, the PAC, and other organizations. So guys, this whole thing is concocted. This whole thing is planned, is concocted. They want to shut down the Western Cape, and they've come up with these bogus reasons, because these reasons are bogus, man. If you want to shut down the country, fighting high unemployment rate, racism in country, man, you might as well shut down the whole country. If you want to fight high unemployment rate, racism, and crime, you might as well shut down the whole country. Don't go to the Western Cape pretending that, okay, you are fighting for black people in the Western Cape. You are fighting for the high unemployment rate in the Western Cape, for racism and for crime. We know that you are doing all of these things for political points. Guys, it's 2024. We know that you guys are going to do everything to distract us from everything that has been happening right now in the country. And man, you will know that this whole thing is a shame. I knew that this whole shutdown thing is a shame the moment I saw this line. It will be supported by the African National Congress. Man, the African National Congress are the ones who are running the country right now. The African National Congress are the ones who are responsible for all the mess that is taking place right now in our country, man. So how can the African National Congress go out there to march against high unemployment rate, racism, and crime, whereas these are the issues that the African National Congress is supposed to solve, because they are in charge of this whole country? So how can the African National Congress go out there and march against high unemployment rate? How is it possible, man? It reminds me, you remember, guys, the last time when the African National Congress was out there marching against what? I think they were marching against load shedding or something like that. Man, it was so insane because it's like, these guys are in charge of South Africa. So how can the same guys that are in charge of South Africa be out there in the picket line saying that we are fighting high unemployment rate? So guys, where are you standing right there? Where are you standing right there? So I think this whole thing of saying that the shutdown will be supported by ANC, SANTACO, SAFTU, and like, guys, it means that the whole shutdown is discredited. According to me, the whole shutdown is discredited. There is no way I can allow the African National Congress to go with me to do a shutdown against high unemployment, crime and racism, whereas these guys are in charge of the country, whereas these guys they spew the rhetoric that is dividing South Africans every single chance they get. So how can the African National Congress go out there to march against racism when these guys are spewing the rhetoric that is dividing South Africans each and every day? So guys, according to me, this march or this shutdown, it is useless. I hope that those guys there in the Western Cape, I hope the police forces in the Western Cape deal with these people, because this march is bogus, man. It serves nothing. The people right now, we are simply being distracted. I am convinced that right now South Africans are being distracted from the issues that are really important in our lives. Right now we are being distracted as South Africans, man, and we cannot allow that. We cannot allow us to go into 2024 thinking of petty things, because one thing I can tell you guys that is going to happen is that the DA is going to unleash the law enforcement services on these guys, and these guys on Tuesday, they will be crying racism on radio, on national or newspapers, on podcast, everywhere. They will be crying racism because there is no way the DA is going to allow these guys to go to the Western Cape and try to shut down the whole province over what? Over what? Over the same issues that the ANC is doing nothing about. So you are going to march with the African National Congress against high unemployment rate, racism and crime, whereas the African National Congress is presiding over everything. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? To me, it makes no sense. I'm telling you, to me, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. If you want to fight high unemployment rate, man, you cannot march along with the African National Congress. You cannot walk with the African National Congress when you are fighting high unemployment rate in this country. You cannot. You cannot. These guys are in charge. These guys are implementing the policies that are making sure that everything is fucked up in this country. These guys are literally breaking down our infrastructure. I mean, our infrastructure is deteriorating right in front of our eyes. I mean, you can't even go to our public hospitals. I don't even want to talk about our education system. Man, this is the fault of our education system. This is the reason why people will go out there and support the EFF on this bogus march. Guys, we are going into 2024. We must never allow ourselves to be distracted by such things. We cannot allow ourselves to be distracted by politics this way, guys. Please, we cannot. We cannot. Because these guys, man, they went there and started saying that they want to fight for impounded taxes. And SANTACO is saying, no, guys, we don't want to fight for impounded taxes. We are not even going to help you. We are not even going to participate with you on that march. We are not. Man, South Africans, man, have been taken for a fool, man. This is the reason why I don't trust politicians, man. South Africans have been taken for a fool. These guys are simply trying to gaslight us, because the only thing that they want the only thing that they hope is going to happen is that the Democratic Alliance unleashes the police and their policing units on them, so that they can be like, okay, guys, this is the proof that the African National, the Democratic Alliance is racist. This is the reason why we say the Democratic Alliance is racist, because they've unleashed the police units on us. We wanted to shut down Western Cape. We wanted these guys in the Western Cape to listen to us. Man, why would you go to the Western Cape when the whole of South Africa is governed by the African National Congress? Why would you go to the Western Cape, the province that is not governed by the African National Congress? Maybe it is doing better. Maybe it can do better. Maybe comparing with other provinces, man, is doing better, as much as they have crime there, as much as they have gang activities there. But Economically, they are doing much better than all of these provinces that are governed by the African National Congress. So if you want to march against a high unemployment rate, why don't you shut down the whole country, this part that is governed by the African National Congress? But instead, you want to shut down the party that is governed by the Democratic Alliance. Guys, I am not sold on this. I don't believe that the EFF is being genuine on this whole thing. The fact that they are going to be joined by the African National Congress, it makes the whole thing looks insane. The whole thing looks insane. It doesn't sound insane. So I hope that the government there in the Western Cape, I hope those guys in the DA unleash the police units on these guys, because these guys are simply trying to gaslight us, man. This is the time for our political parties to talk about the issues that are facing South Africans, because you know that South Africans are going to be distracted a lot going into 2024. South Africans are going to be distracted a lot going into 2024, man. This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning, man. I've heard people complaining about the African National Congress and them starting to blame apartheid. Man, this is only the beginning, man. The SABC hasn't started. They are going to play those Sarafina movies. They are going to play those apartheid documentaries. Man, it is going to be a mess. So South Africans are going to be distracted going into 2024. Because what? Most of these opposition parties, they don't have valid points. They don't have valid reasons. They cannot convince average South Africans to go to the polls. So what? They are going to gaslight those ones who like to participate in elections. So this is part of the EFF gaslighting South Africans, because there's like, guys, I can bet on my last 100 rands, man. There's nothing that average South Africans are going to gain from this whole thing. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that South Africans are going to gain from this whole thing.
Unjust taxi impoundments, collapsed service delivery, high unemployment, racism, high tariffs and load shedding. To discuss, we're joined by the EFF Western Cape Provincial Chair, Unathi Ntame. Mr. Ntame, thank you for being with us. Is it all systems go? What can the Western Cape expect on Monday?
Good day to you and good day to your viewers. Yes, we're ready on our side for Monday. We just concluded the meeting of the multi-party with all the parties that have decided to join the EFF on this part. So we're all ready. The taxi industry is ready. All the stakeholders that are involved in this are ready. Everything on our side is ready for Monday.
So it's interesting you say the taxis are ready. In the news today, SANTACO is quoted as saying that they're not part of this protest.
Fact.
No, they are conforming to the court order on the cards that they send to their chairpersons of their branches, the taxi rank and everyone. They are encouraging their members to be part of the march, and they are encouraging all the taxi ranks to avail the pandams to the EFF march, so that everyone is able to go to the EFF march. Now, you should ask yourself, if now all the taxi owners, all the...
Guys, I'm serious, man. Is there anything that average South Africans are going to gain from this whole thing? Is there anything that average South Africans are going to gain from this whole thing, man? Because to me, it makes no sense, man. I am not the advocate for the Democratic Alliance, man. Most of my videos, I'm a critic of the Democratic Alliance. I'm not their advocate, but I'm trying to make sense of why and what is it exactly that is going to be beneficial from this whole thing. Because you can hear these guys, man. He's been told right now, and he knows that SANTACO is distancing themselves from this whole thing of shutdown on Monday, but he still says that SANTACO is going to join them. So I just want to look at average South Africans. What is it exactly that average South Africans are going to gain from this whole thing? This is the reason why I was talking about the same thing yesterday. I was talking about the ANC and this trend of renaming the streets, renaming the buildings, renaming our infrastructure. Like, guys, are these things benefiting average South Africans? Are average South Africans benefiting anything from all of these things? Did life change from Eastern Cape to Gqeberha? Did life change, man? Did life change from Pretoria to Tshwane? Did life change? Did people suddenly get good service delivery after the name was changed? So this is the reason why I'm saying South Africans are simply being distracted going into 2024. These political parties are going to pull stunts like these so that people can talk about them. But when you look at like the actuality of it, it serves no purpose. This whole thing, it serves no purpose. I don't care what the EFF supporters say, man. I don't care what the EFF supporters say. This whole thing serves no purpose. Because how can you say you want to go to the Western Cape to march against racism, man? To march against racism, then what? Is the Western Cape the only province that has a racism problem, man? Every single province in South Africa, man, it has a racism problem. Every single province in South Africa, it has a racism problem. And it is worse with us black people, man. There is this tribalism that is happening between black people. You know, the Zulus are saying these things about the Sutus, and the Sutus are saying these things about the Pedis, and the Pedis are saying these things about the vendors. You know how it goes. Like, even right now, black people, there's this tribalism that is happening right now in the country. So you are worried about racism when black people are literally targeting each other, man. You are worried about guys, this is a distraction, man. This is a distraction. I'm telling you, this is a distraction. Like I said, I don't care what EFF supporters say, man. These guys always cry anyway. I don't care what they say. But this is a distraction. There is nothing that average South Africans are going to benefit from this, man. And going into 2024, you would expect better from parties like the EFF. You would expect that the EFF would be out there saying that, guys, we are fighting for the issues that are affecting you. Like, guys, go into Western Cape to fight high unemployment rate when the whole country is plagued with the same issue, and you're going to march with the African National Congress, the same party that is presiding over South Africa, the same party that is making sure that millions and millions of young people in this country who are able to work, millions of people who are qualified to work, are sitting at home doing nothing. You are going to march with the African National Congress to march against the high unemployment rate, to march against racism, and to march against crime, when the African National Congress is allowing the South African Police Service to run rampant in our neighborhoods. Honestly, guys, nah, man. Now, fuck that. If you are going to march against high unemployment rate, you cannot do it with the African National Congress, man. You cannot do it with the ANC. The ANC cannot be on the streets saying that they are demanding good service delivery when they are the ones who are in charge of this whole country, man. They are the ones who are supposed to make sure that right now in South Africa, young people are working in this country. They are the ones to make sure that they've created a conducive environment so that businesses can invest in South Africa, man. The businesses do not want to invest in South Africa, man. This is the reason why majority of young people in this country are sitting at home turning into drug addicts. This is the reason why majority of young people sitting at home turning into baby makers and turning into drunkards, because the ANC has never created a conducive environment for the business to come and invest. So, guys, the ANC cannot march against a high unemployment rate. They cannot do that, man. It's like the ANC right now marching because the young kids in South Africa right now, they cannot even read or write. They know exactly they're presiding over the education system. They know exactly they are presiding over the shame of an education system. So the ANC cannot blame anyone tomorrow when they tell them that, you know, these guys, these 12 to 16-year-olds, they can't even read or write. They can't do that. So you cannot march with the African National Congress on this thing. You cannot. So you are simply gaslighting the people, man. People are simply being gaslight, and it's so sad because I know our people are going to fall for this, man. Like, that is the one thing that actually makes me sad, because I know that our people are going to fall for this nonsense. This nonsense that is not going to benefit them. Like, man, they're going to fall for this nonsense. They're going to fall for this nonsense. Oh, jeez, guys, this is a mess, man.
Taxi drivers are going to be attending the EFF march. Who is going to be driving the people that are going to work? So it's obvious that the SANTACO leadership is part of the march, but due to those court cases that they are fighting.
SANTACO says that we don't want anything to do with you and this whole thing of shutdown on Monday. And you have this guy on national television saying that SANTACO is joining.
with the DA on. they have to respect those processes. Otherwise, we're together on this thing.
Okay, let me get this straight. There was an agreement whereby they have to give notice 36 hours before a strike. Is that what you're talking about? That was the agreement. And you're now saying they actually are involved and they're just pretending not to be involved to respect that previous process. Is that what you're saying?
It's snitching.
Those are the technicalities that are between them and the DA-led city of Cape Town. But what we're saying on that day, SANTACO members are going to be there. SANTACO leaders are going to be there, whether they are there on behalf of SANTACO or whether they are there as the members of the society or the political party. But you are going to see the SANTACO people there. What we're telling you is that all the taxis are going to be there, the taxi owners are going to be there, the taxi operators, all of them are going to be attending that march. So we're fine on this side and we are ready for Monday.
All right, then surely they're not respecting the agreement if even the leaders are there. Are you saying commuters will be stranded?
No, what we are saying is that people, those taxi owners and the taxi drivers are members of the community.
But you are not answering the question, man. The question is straight up, man. The question is like, is straight, like yes or no. Yes or no. Like, it's simple. That question is simple, man. It's simple. I don't know why he's beating around the bush. The question is simple. Are you going to stop the people from going to work? Are you going to stop young people from going to school? Is that what you're going to do?
No, what was...
are you saying commuters will be stranded?
No, what we are saying is that people, those taxi owners and the taxi drivers are members of the community. So they will be attending the march as members of the community. So they are...
Did the people there in the Cape Town say that they are going to attend this march? Did they consult with the people of Cape Town, man? Are the people there in the Western Cape okay with the whole thing of the EFF shutting down their city? Man, I know that the people in the Western Cape are not in favor of this whole thing. I know. They will have to bus people in, man. But the residents there of Cape Town, man, they are not in favor. Man, the residents of Cape Town will never support EFF in anything. They will never support the EFF in anything. I don't think that anyone, like, there are people in Cape Town who actually are supporting the EFF to shut down the whole city. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Otherwise, these people, they wouldn't be voting for the DA every single chance they get. They vote for the DA every single chance they get because they want nothing to do with the EFF and the ANC. And the EFF and the ANC are leaving the whole country, going to the Western Cape, the province that is run by the DA. They are leaving this whole mess, man. They are leaving the whole mess. 8 provinces are a mess under the ANC. But they want to go to the Western Cape.
agreement that they have with the city is that they, as SANTACO, they cannot stay away. So SANTACO is not staying away. That's what they said. But much of the EFF is going to end up in where the taxes get important for numerous reasons. And SANTACO people are going to be part of us there. SANTACO people as the taxi owners and the taxi drivers. And some of them are going to be part of us there.
But you were asked about the commuters. You were asked about the communities. Like,
will commuters be stuck?
Yes.
All right, what a pity. We seem to have lost the EFF Western Cape Provincial Chair, Unathi Ntame. Interesting what he's saying. Taxi drivers will be there. He's back with us. So, Mr. Ntame, are commuters going to be stranded on Monday? Is that what you're saying?
No, the commuters are not going to be stranded. The commuters are briefed in advance. We have released that we will be marching on that day. We'll be protesting in Cape Town on that day. So everyone knows that on Monday, all of us in the Western Cape have agreed. We have consulted the stakeholders. We have consulted all the community structures. We have consulted the civic organizations, all the political.
And shutdowns are useless, man. The shutdowns are useless. Shutdowns are useless. This shutdown of the EFF on Monday, it's going to be useless because there's nothing. There's nothing that people are going to benefit from this whole shutdown. There's nothing, absolutely nothing, that average South Africans are going to benefit from this whole thing. If anything, they are going to miss their days there at work. Why don't you do it on, maybe why didn't you do that this whole shutdown on weekend and allow people to go to work and allow young people to go to school on Monday? Because you know that if people don't go to work, they don't get paid. So a lot of people are going to miss their Monday salaries because you guys simply wanted to score cheap political points. There's nothing that average South Africans are going to benefit from this, man. There's nothing. This is the reason why some people say that the EFF, man, no one can stand against the executive there, the EFF. No one can say, guys, this is a wrong idea. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. The EFF, it makes no sense for them to go to the Western. Like this whole thing, it makes no sense. They simply want to score cheap political points, but they are going to use the people. The people are going to be the ones who are going to suffer in this whole thing. The people are going to suffer in this whole thing. So what's the point of you guys going around saying that you are the party of the poor, but at the same time you are stopping the same poor people from going to work? How are you a party of poor people when you are stopping poor people from going to work? It makes no sense.
Parties were in agreement in the Western Cape that enough is enough. What is being done by the Democratic Alliance, the victimization of the tax industry.
Man, if enough is enough, man, the citizens of Cape Town, man, they will vote out the Democratic Alliance in 2024. Stop trying to force people's hands into doing anything, man. This is the same thing I was talking about when I was talking about John Steenhuisen. Stop demonizing the people of the EFF, man. If people don't want to vote for the EFF, people are not going to vote for the EFF, man. You go in there to United Nations Human Rights Council to report Malema on some kill the bull, kill the farmer, what? You are simply trying to twist the hands of South Africans not to vote for the EFF, knowing exactly that majority of people who are no longer going to vote for the ANC are simply going to vote for the EFF. So what? You want the EFF to be out of the way so that those people can vote for the DA. Guys, stop trying to twist our hands. People, we can make our own decisions. We can make our own decisions, man. If people in Cape Town are sick and tired of the DA, the people in Cape Town are going to get rid of the DA in 2024. And the DA must also understand that if South Africans don't want EFF anywhere, our government, the South Africans are not going to vote for the EFF to go anywhere, our government. Man, we can make our own decisions, man. These guys are simply trying to twist our hands. You are simply trying to twist people's hands into voting for you, because what you are doing right now, like I say, guys, you can clip this down. On Tuesday, these guys will be on radio and television and on newspapers crying racism. I'm telling you, they're going to, I'm telling you, that is what they are going to do. That is what they are going to do. So these political parties are busy trying to twist people's hands into voting for them. Men, allow the people to make their own decisions, man. If the people of Cape Town are sick and tired of the DA, the people of Cape Town will vote out the DA in 2024. If South Africans don't want Julius Malema as a president, the South Africans will not vote for Julius Malema to become the president in 2024. The DA, stop trying to threaten us with the United Nations Human Rights Council. The EFF, stop trying to threaten us with this whole gangsterism, racism, and whatever nonsense, man. It's 2024. We are going to make our own decisions, man. We don't need you guys to be out there making a spectacle of yourselves. We don't need that. We don't need that. And I must say, man, shout out to the ANC, man. I must say that, shout out to the ANC. This is the reason why I said that opposition parties are not ready to face the African National Congress, because the African National Congress is not focusing on the DA. They are not focusing on the EFF. They are simply focusing on their constituents, people who are voting for the African National Congress. This is the reason why the African National Congress is going to win in 2024. Because these guys, they know how to channel their own energy to their own people. Then you have these guys from the EFF trying to convince people not to vote for the DA by doing this stupid thing, and all at the same time you have the leader of the DA standing in front of everybody saying that he's going to report the leader of an opposition party, man, to the United Nations Human Rights Council. Just imagine, man, the leader of the DA wants those guys in the West to come and actually interfere with our elections. This is election interference at its best. What John Steenhuisen was trying to do, man, it was election interfering at its best. You cannot tell me that you want to report Julius Malema to United Nations Human Rights Council for whatever reason, man, knowing exactly that we are going into elections in 2024. You don't want to run against Malema. You are giving people the impression that you are scared of Julius Malema. But at the same time, I'm not happy about the EFF doing this stupid thing, because you guys are not convincing anyone to vote for you. You are not. This is why the African National Congress is going to win in 2024. These guys, man, they've got the whole game fucked up. They've got the whole game fucked up. This is the reason why the ANC is going to win in 2024. While you guys fight each other off there, the ANC will be there, man, chowing the votes. Man, going to 2024, man, I thought if there's one thing that the political parties were going to focus on, man, I thought that these political parties are going to focus on convincing the people who are not interested in voting, especially the young voters in South Africa. I thought our political parties were going to actually channel their energy into convincing young South Africans to go to the polls and vote out the African National Congress. But do you think that by going to the Western Cape or Cape Town to try to shut down the Western Cape or Cape Town is going to win you more votes? It is not going to win you more votes. It is the reason why I say that John Steiner is reporting Julius Malema to United Nations Human Rights Council is not going to win him more votes. It's not going to win him more votes. So South Africans, men, are going to make up their own minds at the end of the day. But this is a kind of nonsense that we don't need. These are the distractions that we don't need. It's a distraction, man. It's simply going to distract with average South Africans' lives. These guys are politicians. They're only thinking of themselves. You know, when these guys are there marching on the street, they're actually working. They're at work. But what about you? You are not at work. You are missing that day's payment. You are not at work. These guys are politicians. They are paid to do these stupid things. He will be at work on Monday. What about average South Africans? Average South Africans are expected to sit at home, not to go to school, not to go to varsity, not to go to work. Why? Because the EFF wants to run and march against racism and unemployment rate in Cape Town, leaving the whole of South Africa, man. Leaving the whole of South Africa. It makes no sense, man. To me, makes no sense.
The seeking of dissolution of the taxi industry in the Western Cape must stop and must stop with immediate effect.
Mr. Ntame,
I'm
I'm just trying to understand what you're saying. So commuters won't be able to go to work, but you're saying they're expecting that.
Man, this guy is dancing around the question, man. The EFF should have sent someone better, man. This guy is dancing around the question. Because he knows that if he agrees that the commuters are not going to be allowed to go to work, man, their whole thing, man, is blown out. It's blown out. But he's simply refusing to answer the question. Are you going to stop the commuters from doing their daily activities, man? Are you going to stop people from going to varsity? Are you going to stop young people from going to school? Are you going to stop adults from going to work? Are you actually going to stop young people from going to town to look for work? He's not answering the question. He's not.
No, the commuters of the Western Cape are going to be at the march. That's what I was saying.
Did the commuters of the Western Cape say that they are going to be at the march? Did the commuters of the Western Cape say that they are okay with the whole province like being shut down? Did they say that? Did you guys do a bit of referendum there, trying to understand that the commuters of the Western Cape are in the same page with you? Did you do maybe at least a referendum there in the Cape Town to see if people are actually in? Come on, man. Come on, man. This movie is pathetic, man. It's pathetic.
Commuters of the Western Cape are going to be at the march.
In August, there was a taxi strike that left commuters unable to go to work, and 5 people died. There was violence associated with that strike. Will this shutdown on Monday be peaceful?
Yeah, this one will be extremely peaceful.
You cannot guarantee that. You cannot guarantee that. You can't. You can't guarantee that, man. You can't.
We don't want any violence here. We're briefing everyone that will be attending our march that we don't want any violence here. Since we are staying in the communities ourselves, we're going to make sure that there are no opportunistic elements that will seek to hijack this march for their own reason. So we're going to be on guard fully ourselves. So we can expect no single violence on the Western Cape on that day.
All right, EFF Western Cape Provincial Chair Unathi Ntame. So just to be clear, SANTACO says it's not involved in this shutdown, but he says that commuters will be unable to go to work, that SANTACO will be on the ground, but not in the capacity of SANTACO. An interesting one to see. We will be speaking to the Taxi Association. We are also expecting to speak to the City of Cape Town on Sunday ahead of that planned shutdown across.
So guys, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts on this whole shutdown of the EFF, the supposed shutdown that is supposed to take place in the Western Cape on Monday, man? I think it's nonsensical. I think people right now, they are simply being gaslit into nonsense, man. Honestly, guys, honestly, that's what I think. Those are my views. That, like I said, man, I don't care what the EFF supporters say. I know that the EFF supporters are going to support whatever nonsense that their party comes up with. So I'm not stressed about the EFF supporters, but I'm simply saying that this is nonsensical. There's nothing that average South Africans are going to gain. There's nothing that the EFF supporters are going to benefit from this whole thing, man. There's nothing. You cannot go to Western Cape to say that you want to fight against high unemployment rate, whereas the whole country, man, is faced with the same high unemployment rate, and at the same time you are marching with the African National Congress, the same party that is presiding over everything that has been happening right now in South Africa, man. You cannot do that, man. Some of us are not stupid. So guys, please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.